To the 26th day of October 2025. My name is Kurt, and this is my daily Good Life meditation, a daily live video exercise that I do to remember my life objectives and principles, those which are outlined in my book, Going Alone, which you can read for free at goingalone.org. I also use this time to think about the last 24 hours and how I did with any noteworthy challenges or opportunities that I met. I go over my creed and I prepare for the coming day. But first, thank you to my viewers. It's good. I appreciate you watching my videos, and welcome to new subscribers. It's good to have you here, and a deep thank you to my YouTube members and my Patreon supporters. You make a world of difference. This is a journal entry, so as such, it's personal. Uh, it's public-private, which means that I kind of share my private life, but in a public manner. So you're welcome to leave comments and criticisms as you see fit, and I'll read those and respond at the end. Let's see, I think that's about it. Oh, I do talk about sensitive subjects like death, so be forewarned. Let's get into it. So, regarding the last 24 hours, yesterday was Saturday here in Japan, and I spent the day with as usual on the weekend, with my wife and my sister in law and my father in law. And we had two particular outings that we did. We went to the local mint here in Shizuoka, which is one of four mint factories. They're actually production facilities to make Japanese money located in Japan. This one makes the 1,000 yen note and the 10,000 yen note. So the sen yen and the ichiman ichiman and notes. And they had an open house yesterday, and we went and toured the facility. It's the second time I've been there because it's just literally just within, it's about a 15-minute walk from my house, believe it or not. I know everyone thinks I live in the countryside, but really just I'm on the very edge of the countryside. There's a big city happening right next to where I live. And this was my second time to tour this facility. We know some of the people that work there who gave us the invitation, although it's open to the public. And we had a real nice time. But this isn't me telling you about the day. This is me talking about any challenges that I encountered and how I did, whether poorly or well, so that I can learn and improve from the poor ones and try to do more of the better ones, right? So I had, it's, like I said, I've been to this particular facility before um, in the past and yesterday as well. I was the only visibly obvious foreigner in the place. What I mean by that is the only obvious non-Japanese. There might have been other Asian foreigners there, but I don't think so. I think it was all Japanese. So as such, and you don't get this as much in Japan as you used to back in like the 80s and the 90s when foreigners were far fewer, and we would get the special, kind of, I wouldn't say special treatment, but selected out, noticed different, we really stand out. And I got that yesterday. It used to be kind of hard for me to, be so singled out. I've mellowed with time, and it's not, not such a big deal anymore. Um, but yesterday I found myself needing to enlist some of my principles to, you know, enjoy the day because I was being singled out. And I used, of course, you know, remembering my true limits and my remembering first of all the nature of things. Hashtag nature, that it is the nature of, I guess, any, uh, homogeneous people to take note of anyone who doesn't quite blend in. So that's the nature of things, and it's the nature of me as a non-Japanese to stick out, right? I also remember my limits. There's nothing I can do about the circumstance of being singled out like that. And it's not in a bad way. They single you out in a very good way, giving you kind of exceptional treatment and recognition. They're very, very kind and friendly and polite. I also used, I didn't need to use it very much, some temperance to kind of control my feelings of being, out of place in that circumstance. And I remember the principle of fun, which is just to have a little bit of fun and a good time through the whole thing, right? To remember not to be so serious and stoic all the damn time. So I think it was good. And then in the afternoon we went antiquing, and there was nothing to note from that, so I don't have anything to add there. All right, so that was it for the last 24 hours. Although I will point out, I didn't have this on my list, that the situation back in the United States is on my mind a lot and has had an overarching effect on me. Um, I've stopped making the retiring in Japan videos. They just feel a little flippant right now, a little. I feel like that doesn't mean I'm done with the whole series. I tell myself I'm taking a break from it, with the situation that's going on, and another friend that's in a dire situation back in the United States, just kind of has taken kind of the edge off of wanting to make those more, those more. I keep wanting to say superfluous, but I guess they do feel a little superfluous at the moment. Videos doesn't mean they're done for good, but sometimes, sobriety of events requires a bit of a sobriety of mind. The severity of events causes a little bit of sobriety of mind and will. Hmm. So no retiring in Japan video for the last couple of days, probably, and certainly none today. All right, so as for my creed, it consists of 8 objectives and 35 principles. Uh, you can not only read my creed in Going Alone, if you go to goingalone.org, a website paid for by, through the largesse of all of you. Thank you very much, my supporters, those who watch my videos, those who support through membership and Patreon. Thank you. You helped to make that website possible. But you can read the whole book there for free. You can now also talk to a custom AI that knows the good life and can talk to you about questions, answer questions relative and from the perspective and filtered through the lens of the Good Life Creed. It's called the Good Life GPT, available on ChatGPT, through the ChatGPT GPT library. I still have a little bit of work to do on it, but it's good enough for beta now. It's out in beta release. I will continue to do some tuning though. But as for the creed, there are 8 objectives as follows: to be always ready to die, to make good and effective use of time, to develop and maintain good and sound life principles, to cultivate good emotional reactions, to perform good actions relative to my creed, to recognize my true limits and true opportunities, to do just one thing at a time and do the thing slowly and deliberately and carefully, and to keep my balance. And now, as for a principle to read, I'm going to read The Great Life Adventure, principle number 24 on page 268 of the hardbound edition. Just like it sounds, it's a great life adventure. And a quote from Dr. Johnson: "He who continues the same course of life in the same place will have little to tell." The Great Life Adventure. I need more light. Embark when you are young upon that beckoning dream and adventure. Let it be the centerpiece and point of reference for the man or woman who you will become. Let the experience inform and guide your active philosophy, as well as the development of your own living objectives, principles, and standards. The Great Life Adventure is that centerpiece event in one's life, often achieved in the 20s, that then becomes kind of the thing against which the rest of our lives, the story, the episode, which kind of serves as the high point in our life. A high point in a way, not but in a very particular way. It's the story that we tell. It's the reference point that we look to. It's the benchmark. It's the high watermark of one's life in some ways. And having a great life adventure in our back pocket and having survived one, kind of puts a wind at our backs. It carries us like a homeward sailor with a steady breeze, taking up the rear. It can take many forms. One big obvious example is the veterans who survived World War II, right, and who came home. I'm thinking of the United States, who came home, and I'm old enough to remember when they were still running around in their late adulthood, um, you know, swollen with a sense of maybe well-earned pride in having served their country and having the stories and the everything that was part and parcel of their identity as being veterans. You'll see them clustered around an aviation museum where you get the old vets hanging around with their hats of the service and their patronage. I mean, their patriotism, kind of wearing their patriotism, proud and evident. That's a form of great life adventure that sustains people and gives them a sense of identity. Uh, Being a parent can be a form of great life adventure if you're so wired that you can see it as such. Having little adventures in our younger years kind of again sets the precedent. It causes us to always be buying hiking shoes later in life, even though we're beyond hiking. Kind of the reverberating memory of the adventures we once had, etc., etc. It goes on and on and on. But having a great life adventure kind of is a little bit akin to fulfilling a purpose of sorts. It brings about a peace of mind later that is hard to replace with anything else. Let me, speaking of replacing, let me redo this candle. Yesterday at the antique store, I'm trying to do this without burning myself. Let me move the candle. You can see I typically use these regular plain Jane candles, but yesterday at the antique store, they had antique candles. These are rosoku, is what they're called in Japanese, authentic Japanese style candles. And I bought a couple of those. But that's not what I'm going to burn right now on the other one. Let's put this right here. There we go. So the Great Life Adventure is a really important piece of the puzzle. If we want to have a hook in our home to hang our hat, I was a warrior, I was an adventurer, I was a writer, I was a whatever the heck you are, right? Can take many forms. I was a parent, whatever it is. Well, parenthood, although certainly qualifies as a great life adventure, some people don't see it that way necessarily. They see it instead maybe as a wow, as an obligation that of sorts that they fulfilled, maybe a barely decided purpose that they undertook, or hardly considered purpose that they undertook. It's an interesting thing, although it certainly is a great life adventure of its own. All right, so for the next 24 hours, it's a Sunday. My mind is a little bit fuzzy today. Um, Sober is a good way to describe it. Today would be a good day to have a beer with dinner. This whole America situation has me has a very serious side of my mind operating. It's a good side. It's the same part of my brain that used to operate when I was an IT project manager. You know, taking on difficult challenges, thinking them through, and trying to assess risks and weigh options and take into account assumptions and come up with a schedule and a plan and a budget even. All of that, and I find myself suddenly pressed into all of that, and it's tiring, and it takes kind of the soft edge of retired life. It darkens it a little bit. It's a good reminder of why I tried to leave that behind. All right, let's go ahead and read comments, and I actually have successfully left most of it behind. Hello, Elvina. Good to see you. I hope Elvina says, I hope everyone is having a wonderful weekend. Cold and damp here in Mimiko, Ontario. All right. I'm here in Shizuoka, Japan. It's outside just above 20, just a little below 20 degrees and about 85% humidity. It's warmer than I thought. There's Tim. Good morning. Weather check for the UK at 9:35 p.m. is 6.8 C and 83% humidity. Cold, blustery day. British summertime and tonight here time. British summertime and tonight here. Clocks back 1 hour. Oh, you all do the advance forward and swing back thing, huh? I didn't realize that. Probably doing the same thing in the United States. I'll have to check. Hello, Michael. Elvina says, hi, Kurt, Elvina, Tim, Michael, and Robert, if you are there. Nice, not forgetting Robert. And Tim says hi to Evelyn. Sarah says good morning to everyone. Hi, Sarah. Evelyn says hi to Sarah. Sarah says hi to Evelyn. Cloud S says peace be upon you. Thank you. That's a nice salutation. Evelyn says, I think you are on your way to becoming a candle guy. I think I am. I really like having candles. There's a kind of a genuine warmth to their light that I really like. Michael says, and they're cheap. I just buy them at the 100 yen, so a whole big box of them. Michael says, happy Sunday, Saturday. Congrats on the new job, Kurt. Project management misses you. Thank you. Thank you, Michael. Oh, it's that Michael. Hi, Michael. Yeah. Marmighty, hello, everyone. Hoping that everyone is doing well. Michael says, haha. Uh, Robert says, hi, Kurt, Elvina, Tim, Michael, Sarah, Claudius, Michael Littlejohns, and Marmighty. Hi, Robert. Good to see you here. Michael says, hey, everyone. I joined late. Well, that's good. Better late than never, as they say, right? Tim says, clocks actually go back at 2 a.m. Saturday morning, but I have a lot of mechanical clocks. Yesterday, we were at the antique store, one of our favorites and the one that we go to the most often. We know them very well. And they have a little whole rack full of these wind up little, you know, table clocks. And I would like to get one of those to set on my desk so I can and set it to USA time so I can see what the time is back in the USA. And I had wound them up to hear their tick because I'm trying to decide if I want to pick one. And then left, and you can't unwind the clock. So I then one, it sounds like a proverb, right? You can't unwind a clock. And so I started walking around in the store, and you could hear the tick, tick, tick of about 4 different clocks, along with the register clock they had on the wall, like mine. And it was such a pleasant sound. I love the sound of ticking clocks. And then they started to go off. Sarah says hi to Robert. Robert says currently 51 degrees Fahrenheit, 51% humidity, AQI of 15 in Napanee, Ontario, Canada. And Tim says hi to Robert. All right, everybody. Well, I'm going to sign off for now. I have some things to think about, a few things to organize to get my day in preparation. I finished yesterday. Just to let you know, if you're we have over on the Discord server. And by the way, we have a Discord server. If you ever want to come join, there's a what we're watching channel over there. And I left a note about the what I was watching. It's an Indian movie called Greater Kaldesh. And boy, I liked it. I finished it yesterday. It's really rare. I finished it within 48 hours. It was so good that I just watched bits and pieces of it. Greater Kaldesh, very nice. If you like happy family style things, but not for kids, like happy adult stories that adults would like with a holiday feel to it. Although Indian holiday, Greater Kaldesh, I recommend it. And now I'm started watching another Indian drama that I like. So keeping that up. One more bit of note of housekeeping. No office hours tomorrow. During the office hours tomorrow, Monday, I will be in the Japanese equivalent of the drivers of the motor vehicle department, hopefully securing my new Japanese or being reissued my new Japanese, my being reissued my Japanese driver's license. Tim says it's easier going back as just the pendulums, but going into pendulums? What? It's easier going back is just stop the pendulums. Oh, is that you mean this thing? Okay. But going into summer, have to move them forward 1 hour. Oh, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. Yeah, because I guess otherwise you'd have to. I see what you mean about the pendulums, because otherwise you'd have to spin it all the way around. If you just stop the pendulum, then real time progresses and catches up, huh? And even if it goes past, you can come back a couple hours later and move it forward. Huh. I hadn't thought about that. Tim says, thank you, Kurt. Byle. Evelyn says, I hope you have a peaceful day, guys. Thank you, Evelyn. You too. And I really enjoyed seeing the photo of your beloved pup yesterday, Evelyn. Take care, everybody. Be safe, but not too safe. Tim says, we'll be starting radio exercise in the morning via YouTube. Have a great day. Oh, wonderful. That's great. I'm glad. Welcome to the YouTube, to the radio exercise community, Tim. Bye, Evelyn. Bye, Robert says hi to Evelyn. And I will say goodbye to all of you. Have a wonderful day. Be safe, but not too safe. See you tomorrow. Maybe if you choose to join me.